everybody, and happy Monday. You know what that means. If you haven't forgotten, it's been a while. Want to encourage you to go grab your favorite cup of hot cocoa, a few of your favorite cookies, pull up a chair, and sit and chat with me a while in today's episode of Cocoa and Cookies. Got myself a new mug since the last time that I filmed a Cocoa and Cookies. Keep calm and buy the shoes. Every one of us ladies definitely would love permission to do that, right? If you love shoes as much as I do, I would love to have all the money in the world to just be able to go and buy any pair of shoes I wanted at any given time. I love a beautiful pair of shoes. Absolutely do. So how have all of you been? It has been a little while since I was able to film a Cocoa and Cookies. Just life has been crazy. You all know that I had been sick for a little while, and that's one of the things that I wanted to do today was to give you guys an update on the whole health situation, because several of you have inboxed me asking me how I'm doing, letting me know that you're still praying for me and you've been curious to know what's going on. So I don't even really remember the last time that I had updated you what kind of information I found out at that point. So if any of this is a little bit redundant, forgive me. I just honestly can't remember what I told you guys last. But long story short, you know I had some issues breathing and just some weird things. I really have been sick and on medication, you guys, since around the 1st of April. If you guys had been, or actually, I think it might have been the 1st of March, come to think of it, because if you guys have been following the channel, then you will remember back the first week of March, my husband had a training over in Tallahassee. We went the first week of March, and then we went back the first week of April. And if you guys will remember the March trip, that week started out so crazy. My son ended up very sick, and we had him in the little emergency clinic to try to diagnose what was going on with him. He had come down with the flu and was terribly, terribly sick. Once we got him all stable and got him taken care of, I went on and joined my husband for his trip over there. And by the second or third day that we were in Tallahassee, my husband and I both came down with the same nasty mess. So that first week was terrible, you guys. We spent the whole week in the hotel just sick and in the bed. Tried to get out in the evening for dinner, but just felt so bad. And my poor husband, of course, he had to attend his training. That's why he was there. And he was so sick during the day trying to sit through those classes. So that was not a good one. So that's kind of when it all started. In April, when we got ready to go back, never really had quite gotten over that whole flu, just feeling sick kind of thing. Then I had come down with a urinary tract infection, got medications for that, and it just never really seemed to completely go away. Like I felt sick from the top of my head to the bottom of my toes. Life got busy. We went on with our fine arts competitions that you guys went with us on. And then we also had my daughter's graduation over in Tallahassee. And by the time we got back from all of those different travels and experiences, I was in really, really bad shape, you guys. Just, you know, life was busy and I didn't have time to stop to go to the doctor again, for one. And for two, honestly, I just didn't want to spend the money and thought that I could treat things here at home because I had already had the antibiotics from going to the doctor a few weeks prior. So I thought, well, you know, I can do some home remedies and hopefully that'll kind of jump on top of the whole antibiotic thing and we'll get this stuff knocked out. But it just was not going away. Went back to the doctor. He gave me more antibiotics, took those for 2 weeks, didn't get any better, went back again. They switched the antibiotics, still was not better. 2 weeks later, ended up where they were doing the CT scan of my lungs and all of that stuff. Come to find out, there were some enlarged glands in the lung area, and they're really not sure what has caused all of that. They think that it is a high probability that it is connected with the mold issues. You guys know all of that story, so I'm not going to rehash all that with you. And you guys also know that the money flow just hasn't been there, so we haven't been able to do a lot of the much needed work that needs to be done to finally get the rest of the mold out. So, you know, you just go on and you live life and you try to drudge through the best that you can, even though you know it may not be the best or most optimal situation. So anyway, they gave me a really strong antibiotic to try to get all of this knocked out in my lungs. Gave me some prednisone, which is a steroid, to try to help with all the swelling and inflammation. And it did begin to help, and I was feeling a lot better, but still knew that when I think it was 10 days, that when the 10 days was about over, I knew that I was not completely well yet and just didn't want things to just progressively get worse. That makes sense. So I called back down there, told them, you know, I'm hitting on running out of this antibiotic. Is there any way that you could give me a refill, and let's just go ahead and keep tackling this, because I can tell I'm better. I'm just not well. So they did. They couldn't give me the same antibiotic, because apparently the one they gave me is like one of the strongest you can take, and they don't let you take that more than 10 days because of the effects on the body. And it really did. Guys, there was, during that 10 days, I probably slept only 2 of them as far as really getting a good night's rest. Like, I could not sleep. This stuff was like just revved up my metabolism or whatever the deal was. I was so tired, but could not sleep. And I would go in there and just lay in the bed for hours and hours because I didn't want to get up. I wanted to at least try to rest, even though I wasn't sleeping. You know, you're in a dark room, you're laying down, and you're being restful at least. But I'm telling you, that was really rough. When the first antibiotic was over after the 10 days, and of course the prednisone was over after 7, and that started getting out of my system, I started the second round of antibiotics, which were not quite as strong. But that Monday, my body just crashed on me, you guys. I have never felt so close to death as what I felt that day. It kind of hit me Sunday night when we got home from church, because you guys know how busy our Sundays are. And I had missed one Sunday during the middle of all this because I was just so sick that I could not make it down to church. But this particular Sunday, we did go to church. We do children's church on Sunday mornings, and then we also have our youth group on Sunday nights. And so Sundays are extremely busy and extremely taxing on my body. Because any of you guys that have ever done children's ministry, you know you have to be very high energy, very loud, very excited. You know, you have to get the kids pumped up to keep their attention. And it's just really straining on me on Sunday. So when we got home late that night, I started feeling really weird, but I thought, well, you know, I'm tired. I haven't slept much in the last 10 days. You know, this too shall pass. But by Monday, oh man, I cannot even describe to you guys how bad it was. Finally, I can't even tell you what time in the afternoon it was. I finally told the kids, I said, I think I'm going to be able to finally get some sleep. I just feel that bad. I'm going to lay down. And I don't even know how long I slept that day. For hours I slept. My husband had come home from work and they had fixed dinner. And I remember eating dinner with them. But even then, I don't think that I stayed up very long. I went back to lay back down in the bed and slept till, I think when I woke up that evening was when my husband was actually coming to bed. And of course that kind of woke me up, and then, you know, you just kind of felt like, okay, I can get up now for a little bit. And I came on out here and stayed up with the kids for a little while, but that was bad. That was really bad. And I think it was just the culmination of all the stress, first of all, worrying about what was wrong, the antibiotics that were very strong on my body, combined with the steroid. Prednisone's never done that to me before. I've taken that several times for the sinus issues with all the mold. That's never done it to me. So I don't think it was just the steroid alone. I think it was in combination with that super strong antibiotic. And when it hit and combined together, just not sleeping. And then I guess, you know, after about 2 or 3 days, when all that stuff is kind of getting out of your system and your body is weaning off of that and trying to come back to normal, it just, man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Never experienced that before, and don't ever want to experience that again. It was rough. Oh my goodness. But I am feeling a lot better. I'm not on any of the medications now. All the courses of antibiotics I've taken all of those, and I do feel better, but you can tell I'm still very nasally because there are still constant allergic reactions to the mold situation that we find ourselves in right now. And really, until we get that completely cleared up, I don't see that any of us are going to be 100% well, you know? And it's just going to be one of those things of trying to learn how to manage it. They did suggest that I take the Zyrtec, which is an over-the-counter allergy thing, to take that daily. Right now, I've been trying to take it every other day because I'm not one of those that want to take medicine all the time, especially not every day, and especially those real strong sinus allergy medications like that. A lot of them can make you drowsy, and I just don't like it. So I've been taking it about every other day, and I have noticed that it has helped a lot as far as my reactions to the mold, and I'm not feeling super, super sick, but I can tell you I am still having that trouble breathing. So the enlarged glands, not sure if all the medication helped that, because of course they didn't want to do another scan for 3 months. I mean, you know, those things are not good for you in and of themselves, just the radiation. They did inject a dye in there so that it could help them see real clear what was happening, and you know, that stuff's not real safe to do a lot. So I've got to wait the 3 months for that. It's been 4 weeks now, so about 2 more months and they'll be able to check again, just to make sure there's no long-term damage. You know, when you live in an environment with the black mold, it is extremely dangerous, you guys. It takes such a toll on the body. And you know, we had to live here while we've been redoing everything. There was no option. We had nowhere to go. So I think just breathing that in for so long, this has been, we tore our very first piece out, was the fireplace. We tore that out in January of 2013. So we have already been working on this issue 3.5 years. And you have to understand that we had already been having some of the symptoms probably about 3 years prior to that. We just didn't know what was making us so sick. We didn't know what the issue was. So at least for the last 6.5 years, probably a little longer, based on the amount of damage we found when we opened up the walls, we've been dealing with it, breathing it in, and just, it can definitely take a toll on the body. So we'll see at the follow-up CT scan what it may show, and if there's any long-term damage to the lungs or not. I am praying and believing there won't be. But I am finally at least on the upswing. I'm not back to normal by any stretch of the imagination, but for the first time since March of this year, I actually feel okay. It's been a rough 2016. And then on top of that, we've had so much activities going that you just really don't have time, I guess, to just stop and really rest. So needless to say, I've had other content out for you guys, some of the content where I haven't actually had to get ready and be in front of the camera and that kind of stuff, and just hadn't been able to get the cocoa and cookies out for you guys. But anyway, we do have a very special event coming up in a couple of weeks, and I think I'm going to go ahead and participate in Vlogmas this year. I did Vlogtober last year, and many of you really enjoyed that. As a matter of fact, many of you came to the channel because of Vlogtober. Then, of course, we did Vlogmas through the month of December, and a lot of you guys enjoyed that as well. And I have found that whenever I post our day in the lives, or when we've gone off for the special trips and we vlog those trips for you guys, I've discovered that a lot of you really enjoy those, and you enjoy spending time with our family. So I've decided that I am going to do Vlogust starting on August the 1st. And the exciting thing about that is that for the first week of August, you guys are going to get to travel with us up to Louisville, Kentucky. If you guys remember back at the end of April, the kids had participated in our state fine arts competition. and they had won several awards, and because of that, both of them were invited to participate at the National Festival, which this year is being held in Louisville, Kentucky. So since it is through our church and through our statewide church group, our church has come together, and many of the people there have donated the funds to help the kids go. They will be representing our church and our youth group, as well as the Assemblies of God of the state of Florida. So I am very excited about that, and I know you guys are going to enjoy watching all those competitions as well. So that's going to be what kicks off our Vlogmas. We will be there from July the 31st through that Saturday. We'll be traveling home that Saturday, which I think maybe August the 6th. Not real sure on the date, whatever that first Saturday of August is. So the whole first week of Vlogmas, you guys will be in Louisville, Kentucky with us. Very excited about that. And I also know that at least one of you who enjoy watching the channel has some kids that will also be participating in fine art. So hopefully we'll see you there. Hopefully in the mix of all the fun and the excitement of that week, hopefully we will be able to run into each other or plan a place where we can meet up at the convention hall or something like that. I think that would be neat to get to meet you, and excited that your kids are also going to be there. So much fun. There'll be about 20,000 teenagers who will be competing in the different categories, and then at night, every night of the week, they have their huge convention. This year they're going to have For King and Country will be there. Some of you may be very familiar with their music, others may not be, but my two at least are very excited about that. So it's going to be a fun week, a busy week, and we're definitely going to take you along so you guys can all be part of that with us. But other than that, for the next week and a half, not real sure how many videos I may be able to have up for you guys. I've been trying to get you guys a video up every day. Most of the time I will try to record like several in one day, and then that way I can schedule them to be up for you guys. Not sure that I'm going to be able to do that very much because we've got things that we need to wrap up around here to get ready for our big trip. We will have packing to do, getting last minute supplies or necessities for the trip and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to be kind of busy over the next 2 weeks, but we will definitely be taking you with us to Louisville, and hopefully, if you've never seen the city, you will enjoy seeing it through our eyes. It's a really pretty town. We were there, this will be 4 years ago now that we were there. Actually, the first time they made the national invitation was to Louisville. So we get to go back, which is kind of nostalgic because most of you know that my daughter's just graduated. So this is her last year of being able to participate in the fine arts. So her first national invitation was to Louisville, and her last invitation has been to Louisville. So that's been exciting, and I'm sure there will be a lot of tears, you guys. You know how it is if you're a mom and you have children who are growing up. At any rate, I think that's really all that I have to catch you guys up on right now. Hope you all have been doing well. Hope your lives are kind of swinging along a little better than mine has this year. Hope you are all in good health and good peace. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon in the next video.